I've spent the last month and a half constructing a massive haunted mansion in Minecraft, complete with spooky rooms, incredibly hard puzzles, and even jump scares. A true test of wit and skill. There were 10 puzzles that the players would have to go through in order to escape. Who will escape to tell the tale? Watch to the end to find out. The players were divided into two groups, one with a large amount of people, and the other with only a few. I wanted to see how this would affect the time in which the mansion was completed. The larger group could find stuff and cover more ground much quicker, but the smaller group could cooperate with each other much more easily. They would be running through at different times to not get in the way of each other. And so they began the first puzzle. The first puzzle was fairly simple. All they had to do was simply cook a pork chop. They could find coal in this barrel. The difficult part about this puzzle comes with finding the pork chop. The underside of a barrel looks like spruce planks, so I hid the pork chop in a barrel under the table. Completing this would open up a door, which meant they could move on to the next puzzle. The larger group immediately found the coal, but they didn't know what to do with it yet. However, they soon found the pork chop and started cooking. This opened up the door, which meant they could move on. The smaller group took a little bit longer to figure out this puzzle, but they also completed it quite fast. The second puzzle consisted of 3 rooms, a seating area, an indoor plant conservatory, and a bathroom, which was purely for design purposes. To complete this puzzle, they would have to throw this flower onto the center of this carpet. Doing this would open up this door, which would unlock the next room. Both groups immediately gravitated towards the clock, but it did not have anything to do with the puzzle. Cruder Dragon figured the flowers had something to do with the puzzle, but wasn't sure what it was yet. They dropped the flower on the rug, but not in the right spot, so then OSR corrected them and threw it in the middle, which unlocked the next room. A player named Loud from the smaller group saw the flower and immediately put the puzzle together, throwing it on the rug.
What?
They opened the doors and moved on to the next puzzle. The third puzzle consisted of a large living room and a hallway with a wall covered in paintings. They would have to take the creeper head from this shelf and throw it onto this creeper painting. Doing this would open up a secret passage in the bookshelves, which would let them continue on to the next room. They would also have to be careful to watch out for traps, such as this void trap, and this painting, which would catch you on fire. In order to get up to the shelf, there was very difficult parkour that they had to complete. The parkour itself ended up taking both groups 20 minutes to complete. The larger group also kept getting in each other's way. Eventually, both groups finished the parkour, leaving them only to figure out what to do with the heads. One of the players was very close, just 1 block off from figuring out the puzzle. Eventually they got it, which opened up the next room. The smaller group also got it fairly quickly. The fourth puzzle is quite simple. All they had to do was figure out the code from the signs, and then enter it in that order according to the amount of candles above the buttons. The large group figured it out almost instantly.
Yes. 4, 3, 1, 2. I'm doing it. Got it.
The smaller group took a little bit longer, but they also figured it out pretty fast. The fifth puzzle is one of the hardest puzzles in the entire mansion. To complete it, they would have to craft this banner. To craft it, they would have to find a banner and multiple dies hidden around the rooms. They immediately found the items they needed and knew exactly what to do.
blue dye. I have blue dye.
Me too, I found light blue dye. Oh, I know what we're doing. We're making a
Wait,
thing.
I just found a light gray banner.
I got black dye, black dye, black dye.
I know how to make this banner.
The smaller group did the exact same. Both groups struggled in figuring out the order in which the banner needed to be created, even though there was a hint in the closet. Both groups walked past the hint many times without noticing it. The banner they created looked identical to the one they needed to make, but it was still in the wrong order. Eventually they found it and created it in the right order, meaning they could move on to the next puzzle. The smaller group also crafted it, which meant they could move on. The sixth puzzle is a simple dark hallway with candles on either side. All they had to do was look up and follow the white line. Failure to do this would lead to them being jump scared. Both groups got through this very easily, and then the seventh puzzle is a theater room with a backstage. To beat this, they would have to go into the backstage area and stand on top of this vent. Then when the lights flash off, the vent disappears, and they can enter the water maze. If they make it through without drowning, they'll end up in this room, connecting to the library. Here they'll find a book that tells them the key to the next room is hidden in the basement. Then they can open up the basement door by clicking this button. It didn't take them long to figure out what to do and make it through into the library. After one person got through, they could open the doors that were previously locked and continue into the library. The smaller group did the same. The larger group had more trouble finding the entrance to the basement.
They don't know the door is right here.
And even when they did find it, only one or two entered because they had poor communication. But the smaller group had no trouble finding it. The basement is a large complex of dark hallways with some mysterious decor. For them to get through the basement, they would need to find 3 buttons while avoiding traps. The first button took the large group a long time to find, but the other 2 didn't take them nearly as long.
Oh, they did it.
The smaller group took just as long to find the first button, but also had trouble with the third.
No, the basement was that the key.
They also fell in my lava trap a lot.
I cannot see if I can.
And then they clicked the final button. Doing this disturbed the creature that was guarding the key. Both groups managed to get through the basement, which meant they could move on to the next puzzle. This puzzle consisted of a long hallway, an office, a bathroom, and a bedroom. It also had a seating area. To complete this puzzle, they would need to find 3 buttons to unlock the attic. The larger group was obviously better with this one because of their sheer size. They could cover more ground, which led to them finding the buttons much quicker. However, they still had a little trouble with one of them. But they soon found it and had found all 3 buttons, which meant they could move on to the final puzzle. The smaller group, as expected, took a little bit longer on this puzzle.
Long hallway. Long hallway.
Is this the door's chase scene?
But they still beat it faster than I expected them to. The final puzzle is in the attic. Only one person could escape from each group, so it was now a race. To solve the puzzle, they would need to craft a recovery compass using the materials in the barrels that were hidden in the attic. Then they can craft and put the compass in the barrel and escape. Who will get it first? Loud Hickory and Critter Dragon made it to the final room. Now all they had to do was find an elytra, break the glass, and escape. Both teams beat the mansion, but which one did it faster? Well, the larger group finished the mansion faster, but only by 5 minutes. This experiment tells us that although the larger group was able to beat it faster, that was just this one situation, and other real-life scenarios could be different. So both teams were good, but you need to find a good balance with numbers and how well they work together. Anyways, thank you for watching, and happy Halloween.
So I can't get out of here, basically?
Yep, you're trapped in here forever, doomed to become a ghost.